Happy Pride. I'm thrilled and honored to be with the congregation of Community UCC this morning. And according to my calendar, the last time I was here was about in January of 2022. So it's been a few days. So I am thrilled to be back. And today is Boulder Pride. It's happening in downtown Boulder as we speak. And I suspect I've been invited to deliver the message this morning because of my complex identity as a first queer transgender Latina to be ordained in the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, the ELCA. And it's important for me to be here today, for when I came out in 2003, there were very few trans role models and even fewer trans people of faith in leadership positions. A lot has changed since 2003, and there is still so much work to do, but we have to take time to celebrate all that has been accomplished. Now, I must fully disclose the fact that I am Vice President of the Board of Directors of Rocky Mountain Equality, formerly known as Out Boulder County. Now, if you head to the Boulder Pride Festival in downtown after service, you'll hear me speak about 1 p.m. about how Out Boulder County outgrew our name, and we have rebranded to Rocky Mountain Equality. For there is a need in all of Colorado for the LGBTQ plus programs and advocacy undertaken by the incredible staff of Rocky Mountain Equality. We had to change our name in order to reflect the abundance of God's creation. What do you think of my clever segue from abundance to the wedding at Cana? And I have to admit, I like preaching at UCC churches because I'm usually given the opportunity to select the readings for the day. We Lutherans tend to use the Revised Common Lectionary. So I preach a lot on pre-selected readings, which is fine. Make sure my bishop knows that's fine. And I preached from the Revised Common Lectionary for more years than I care to admit, but I like having a choice now and then. So why the wedding at Cana for Pride Sunday? Well, in my mind, there are so many arguments that I hear about if you give them rights, that means there will be less or not enough for us. That is a theology of scarcity. It sounds like, well, if 2 men or 2 women marry, if they marry each other, then my marriage means less. If immigrants are allowed in the country, there won't be a job for you. If a trans person uses the bathroom, well, people could be in danger. Well, honestly, a trans person has never been convicted of any wrongdoing in a bathroom. You're in more danger if there's a congressperson in the bathroom. But I digress. These are arguments that have been used against the queer community, and they are based in fear. They are the variations of the same arguments used for centuries in order to control and manipulate people so that the dominant power structures can retain their power. I believe in a theology of abundance, and that abundance starts in the Gospel of John. And what I love about the wedding at Cana is that the story takes place in the 2nd chapter of the Gospel of John, and it is the first sign performed by Jesus. This first indication of the divinity of Jesus Christ is one of abundance. The mother of Jesus tells her son, "There is no more wine." And Jesus replies, "Woman, what concern is that to me and to you? My hour has not yet come." Now I admit, the mischievous part of me thinks Jesus said something more like, "Ma, I just want to hang out with my friends. It's not my fault they didn't have a decent party planner." And luckily I'm Lutheran, so grace abounds. Anyway, the mother of Jesus turns to the servants and says, "Do whatever he tells you." 6 huge jars are filled with water. Jesus turns about 180 gallons of water into wine. That's almost 900 bottles of the best wine. Now, for a long time, I thought this lesson was telling me that if I ask God for what I want, I will get it in abundance. But when you read the story closely, no one asked Jesus for more wine. The text reads, Jesus and the disciples had also been invited to the wedding. When the wine gave out, Mother Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." The inept party planner didn't ask Jesus or his mother to provide more wine. The mother of Jesus made a statement, "They have no wine." It wasn't a request. It was Jesus who made the decision, and he provided what was needed. As I was wrestling with the idea that Jesus gives us what we need and not necessarily what we want, I happened to read 1 Corinthians chapter 12 in one of my daily devotions. As Paul wrote in verse 13 from our reading this morning, "For in one Spirit we were baptized into one body." The heart of the message Paul wrote to the Corinthians is this. Paul addresses an issue most pastors like to have. Too many people are volunteering their talents, and there is a competition between the people as to who is doing the most for the fledgling community. As human beings, each of us wants to be noticed. Each of us wants to be lifted up for something special or something different or something unique. We want to be told whatever we do is better than anyone else can do. But in 1 Corinthians, Paul is telling us that each of us have been given something special by the Holy Spirit, and that something special must be used for the good of the entire community. Each of us is special, for we are all made in the image of the divine. We are all made in the infinite love of God, and the gifts that have been bestowed upon us by the Holy Spirit, they must be shared so that the entire community can thrive. It took me a long time to recognize the gifts the Holy Spirit bestowed upon me. I spent 16 years in law enforcement, and the majority of that time, I tried so hard to prove that I was a man, but I failed miserably. It took a lot of time, a lot of prayer, a couple of really good therapists and support groups to help me realize I have always been Nicole, and I have to live into being Nicole in order to be happy. And I've been told I'm a good preacher, a good teacher, and a good listener, attributes that work fairly well being a pastor and a therapist. Yes, I can read a financial statement, but don't ever ask me to create one. Don't ever ask me to fix anything, and definitely don't ask me for directions. And I cannot speak in tongues. Yes, there are so many things that I can't do, and I give thanks to God that there are people who can do the things I cannot do. We need each other. Once I began living as Nicole, the Lord gave me what I needed to live in abundance, but not the abundance I thought I wanted, but the abundance I need. I'm not rich. I have a nice home. I have a nice car, and I have food in my fridge. So no, my abundance isn't measured by what is in my bank account. My abundance are the people in my life. I have a church where everyone knows my name. I have friends across the country because I have been given tremendous opportunities to travel and speak and teach in cities across the United States. And I have a family who makes sure I know I am loved. So my question for you at this point, where do you find abundance in your life? It's not rhetorical. Turn to each other and talk about Where is that abundance? Thank you all so much for taking time to consider and ponder what abundance you have in your life and what gifts you have to share with the entire community. And, you know, with church administrators, people would ask me when I was a pastor of a church, they would ask me a question. I'm like, well, why don't you ask the brains of the outfit? Because the church administrators know what they're doing. Music directors are gold because, as Martin Luther once said, music and hymns are just prayers sent to a melody. So let us continue in prayer. Thank you.
Greetings to you wherever you are watching this. For those of you whom I have yet to meet in person, I'm Reverend Nicola Marsh, pastor here at Community UCC. And we see that people like you are watching our live stream each week. And because of this, we are excited to be embarking upon an experiment. And we need you. If you are engaging with us regularly, finding meaning in what we are about, we would like to extend a special invitation for you to be among the first CUCC digital disciples. For signing up for just $10 a month, you will receive a t-shirt with the new CUCC logo. And we are also exploring the idea of offering other content to those of you who are part of this new and growing area of digital ministry. Sign up to support us in this new way at cuccboulder.org/support by clicking on the yellow donate tab and noting you are a digital disciple in the instructions. Or as always, we welcome an old-fashioned check mailed to us at CUCC, P.O. Box 3646, Boulder, Colorado 80307. Thank you for being and building beloved community with us, and thank you for your gift, whatever it might be.